Well, hello, hello, hello. All right, all right, all right. How's my hair? Perfect? Okay. See if anybody gets the notification and comes on in. Tonight we are smoking a AJ Fernandez Bellis Arts EMS, English Market Selection. Oh, shit, I forgot to get drinks. I think I got a drink. Got a drink. Be a start. Oh, hello, Jerome, what's going on? Bars, right on. The OG has entered the chat. I'm sorry, I got the phone down for a sec, so I'm lighting my cigar. This is the cigar lounge. I'm lighting my cigar, so smoke them if you got them. Hey, I showed my wife the picture, the short of you last night with Skittles resting on your neck, and she loved it. A lot of people cut their cigars. I just fucking bite them. So we're just getting settled here. It's the evening, and I'm just sitting down for a cigar. Yeah. Skittles is in the chat. I used to have a pair of healers, blues mostly. One was sort of tricolor. He was a little weird on the colors, and the other was one was a true blue, and the other was kind of blue with a red and blue face. It was weird. Or actually a red and black face. And they were my bestest buddies for 14 and 15 years. They were brothers and litter mates. So that's why I'm so enthusiastic about the healers. So let's see. Let me see that, what y'all carrying. Oh, I got my pouch on. Now I am in the garage, but the garage doors are open to let the smoke ventilate through. And, if Sasquatch comes into my garage and, there was a unfortunate situation about, pushing 5 or 10 years ago now where a gal got attacked in her garage by a guy on bath salts in Florida on drugs that made him like a zombie and killed her and her husband, killed them both. And when the cops came, the dude was eating her face. And that would literally, I kid you not, you probably heard this story. And I knew that girl pretty well, actually. Like I went to high school with her. She was my circle of friends. So it could fucking happen, like it ain't gonna happen to me, but if it could happen in the garage. Mason, I sent you a link. I hope you got it. Pablo, what is going on? Let's just take a look, make sure I didn't. Just trying to keep up a little bit. Is that Bars? Is that Dallas? I'm assuming Bars is Dallas because of the green smiley hands. Welcome in. The OG is in the chat. I'm glad you liked it. Well, I just figured no one was on. None of the bros were on, so I figured I'd go on. So I just figured we could see who came in, and maybe Chanson or J Dog would want to go on, and and I'd be happily get up. Like they won't tell you, but like if anybody said, "Hey, I'm ready to go," I'd jump out. I just jumped in to pass a little time with y'all. I figured Bars is Dallas because of the wavy hand thing. digging the music that was playing on his channel. So yeah, I just figured I'd come on for a little while and see what's going on and chat with y'all. I have nothing. Like I literally got no. Ronaldo, what's up? Welcome in. Please subscribe if you're not already. Like, comment, subscribe. Welcome in. What's the best? We the best YouTube. We are. And so Dallas is like the Papa. Even well, I don't. Well, never mind. Never fucking mind. But he's the OG. So yeah, I was playing some of his lyrics from playing some of the music for my wife. Like I'm, an old white dude, right? So we ain't claiming nothing. But I was playing his channel. He plays awesome music, and so there's it's smoking the OZ because we're the OG. Bad bitches want to know me, and I was playing that for my wife, and anyhow, she thought it was not funny actually. So I do have my tack pack on. There might be something in there besides the blade. Maybe. Maybe. But you never know. Because you ain't never going to see it. Unless Sasquatch jumps in my garage and has less than friendly intentions. Are you in a crack house, Juan Carlos Fernandez? Why would you say that, brother? What would make you think I'm in a crack house? Do you see anybody here smoking crack? We're smoking cigars. This is the Ballistic Cigar Lounge. J Dog Pimp Daddy C has entered the chat. All right, the coolest white dude in all of YouTube land is now in the chat. Clearly, it's not me. I may be a legend, but I ain't the cool. Oh shit! Sorry. I may be a legend, but I ain't the coolest dude. But J Dog is the coolest dude. So we're hanging in the Ballistic Cigar Lounge. Got nothing on my mind, but y'all are welcome to. Like literally, I got no. I did have a 4-hour conversation with a buddy of mine who has taken an interest in my shooting. Kind of, I would say, my long distance mentor. Kind of taught me a bunch of shit early on. First guy to take me out to the 550 range, and well, I met him at the 550 range, and from the first with me and wife, and literally from the first shots, we were hitting 4-inch clay pigeons on the berm at 500 feet, hitting 4-inch clay pigeons on the berm at 550 yards. And he taught me a fuck ton and has helped me a lot. And then last night we had a 4-hour conversation where he broke down the serious and not well-known details of high-end reloading for bench rest accuracy. And I'm not allowed to divulge I kid you not. He's like, and you can't tell people this shit. Like nobody knows. And so I got like the super, super skinny on serious reloading to the point where I had to buy a whole bunch of new shit and measuring devices and and it's going to take me weeks to learn the shit and get a lot of help along the way to find out what the fuck he's talking about. And like it's going to take probably months to develop loads this way, but beyond classified, beyond under pain of death. But presumably, but he's like, look, just fucking stop doing that shit. None of that shit you're doing is going to work. This is the right way to do it. Just start here, and you'll save yourself a lot of time and misery. And at the end of this, you'll have super, super accurate loads. And like his mentor is one of the top guys in the country, and he's probably and he's like but I'm at like the club level, and I know who that guy is, but I haven't talked to him yet. Like I haven't thought of anything to say. Not like I'm starstruck. I just see him at the matches, but we haven't like had a reason to talk. But anyhow, so and what he said made perfect sense. And, and it's a tragic because I'm a super ADD guy and he is a super OCD guy. And so like the thought of me having to learn the shit that is broken down into so far broken down in that he understands, that I was like, oh my God, this is going to fucking hurt so bad. But we will have, in theory, much better chance of having good loads when it's all done. So anyhow, that's exciting because I really want to elevate my shooting game, and we're already like starting to get decent just on shooting technique, with which I think my shooting technique is crap anyway. But it's just like having a big enough scope to see 600 yards and hold on get the gun zeroed, or on target at 600, and point of aim, point of impact at 600, and gently pull the trigger or quickly pull the trigger, as the case may be. Pull the trigger without upsetting the gun. And I'm doing pretty good, and 6 months in, and he just like held out the carrot to get like into the like stupidly good level, because it's all load development. It's all bullets. It's bullets, barrels, and brass, as Overton said early on. And the three B's of long distance shooting are bullets, barrels, and brass. So, and we got to, so far my barrels can outshoot me. I can't outshoot the barrels, but I want to get to the point where I can outshoot the barrels. And so, anyhow, so, and the load development, my load development right now fucking sucks. So, he's just like, yeah, fucking quit doing all that shit. And, don't do that. Do this. So, and like he's telling me shit that is way, way, way beyond and above my pay grade, way beyond everybody's pay grade. Like I don't even want to, like the dudes who taught him the shit have been doing this for a really, really long time at a very high level. And so anyhow, maybe we'll get better. So who wants to? JP, my night is going. I sit here in the dark and smoke my cigar in peace and quiet, but there's nobody on, and I didn't want to doom scroll, and I finished all my work early before I left the office, so I didn't need to sit here and do my work, and I didn't want to hold my breath and pray that J Dog was going to go on, and it's too early for Chanson to go on, so I figured that it's way too early for Papa to go on, so I figured I'd jump in and just chat with you guys. And like, this is a conversation. And granted, Bruce has a tremendous propensity for monologuing, sorry, but like, let's have a conversation. Let's, include you. Like, I got nothing to really go. That was my whole thing. The reloading is the only new thing, but if y'all got anything going on that we should, like, hey, let's talk about y'all's lives. What are y'all doing? What new guns did y'all get for Black Friday? What new guns are y'all getting for Christmas? So this is our AJ Fernandez, Bell Arts. What the fuck they call this? This is like an English. Usually I smoke Bellis Artes Maduros. Not usually. It was my favorite cigar a couple of years ago, and I smoked them for like a year, and then they disappeared and couldn't get them anymore. So I had to fuck off and smoke other shit. And then I just got a couple of boxes of the Maduro, and I had access. I got one box of these EMS English Market Selections, and it's fucking a good cigar. It's hard to say which one of these cigars is better. I don't even think it matters. Just this one's a little brighter, more like citrusy flavor. The other one's a deeper, darker Maduro. So when you want to wrap your lips around something big and black, you go for that one. And thought you'd like that. A few of these, or a few cigars in general? Totally ashing on myself. That'll be like an all-night thing. So seriously, J Dog, if you're gonna go, please don't let me hold you up. I'm just like I'm just a place market, just marking the spot for when you're ready. Oh, cigars in general. Okay, yeah. Well, I've had a few myself. Want to say it was a champagne or so. Yeah, that could have been. It would have been like a oh fuck, I can't remember those things, but so it's like but those champagnes are very popular cigars, and I think I used to get them like 10 years ago, and they were good, and then they got popular and the prices shot way up, and you just can't even get them in, and they're priced way outside of their way beyond what they are. I can't even seem to sit and smoke long enough to finish one. Well, as long as you're not trying to inhale them and not getting sick, it's fine, right? Um, and like, so is that something always interferes with your evening, or you just don't have, you got spelkus? You got spelkus? Um, can't sit still long enough to smoke it, or you just don't ever get a chance to sit still because life is calling you? Uh, well, I mean, you can if you want to, but a lot of people kind of turn green and puke their guts out eventually if they inhale. But if you smoke like camels and shit, you inhale like camel straights, then you'd probably be fine inhaling a cigar. Well, you ain't gonna down it that fast anyway. This thing will burn. This will burn for an hour, like 45 minutes if I steamed it, but it'll burn for an hour, a little longer. And it's a good size cigar. It could burn a lot longer than that, but I tend to smoke them. So, um, uh, my like cigars tend to last me 45 minutes to an hour, and it's rare to get something big enough and tight enough that it's going to take longer than that. Um, so anyhow, yeah, you guys gotta keep this going because I'll run out of stuff really quickly in this combo. I just didn't bring anything. I was like, well, because I usually just sit here in the dark with the light off, the light over there. Don't look at the mess in the middle, but you can. The Mustang seems to be a uh, popular feature of the garage, the the garage denizen. Pablo, como está? What's going on? You're back, right on. You got the Sig P65 Macro X. That's new for me so far. Well, congratulations on that. I think I saw it the other day, and it looks like it's almost Glock 19 size, which would be pretty awesome because I was at the gun show the other day and I held like a regular P365 and it seemed tiny, like teeny, like the grip seemed tiny. Um, but that looked like a correct me if I'm wrong, but that seemed like a almost a Glock 19 size, maybe a Glock 48 size. Well, Yeah, I'm sure that Sig has a great trigger, and it always shot really well. That was it. Kind of kicked Glock's pants because it had a great trigger out of the box, but it's also what, like, even the base model's like $800. Add a Q&A figure. It said, add a Q&A sticker. What's your favorite childhood cartoon? Which is actually not terrible because I have a lot of favorite childhood cartoons, but ain't gonna do it. It's slightly larger slide and takes the full size mags. I want to say 48 says, yeah, I would go with 48 size. The one I tried shot really well for its size. I think I've only shot just like the one that they first came out with was, I think it was a 365 and 9mm, and it was a very nice gun, like a very nice gun. Just like the whole package was well done, but um, I think I was already into Glocks at that point. I think I already had the 48. The one I tried shot really well for its size. So yeah, I had the 48, and I got a CSX for my wife because it was kind of a little ahead of the red dot craze, and you could make this on the CSX. On the Smith & Wesson CSX, you could put it, but it came with a ambi slide release, and you could flip the mag release, and so it was the most leftyable of the micros. Yeah, I really do. It's a really nice gun. When you shoot it, it just feels like quality. Smith makes a really nice gun, and the fit and finish is really good. The workmanship on is really good. When you shoot it, it's like you're like, damn, this thing's nice. Now, the only thing about it that everybody hated was, well, it doesn't have a 1911 trigger. Well, it's like officer size or even smaller, um, with no grip safety. So all you got is like I think it's got a hinge trigger. I think that Smith Steels it has the hinge trigger safety, um, and that's it, right? So they made the trigger a little heavier to um, to compensate for there being no other safeties on the gun. But if you were in a self-defense situation, a defensive situation, you would not notice that the trigger's like 5.5 or 6 pounds. You just wouldn't notice. 6 pounds is not too much for a carry gun, and it's just not. Like if it had a 1 pound, single action 1911 trigger, it would be phenomenal. But then people would bitch that it's not a safe carry gun, or even a two. So you can't. There's nothing you can do. Good night, Pablo. Thanks for coming in. Please subscribe to the channel. Well, yeah. I mean, look. First of all, everybody's got to have a reason to bitch about. All the gun reviewers have to have something negative to say, and they sent it to Honest Outlaw, who's like 6'4" and has ginormous fucking hands, and he hated it because it's an itty bitty gun. And he always like he used to just talk about how much he didn't like any small gun. Now at least he says, well, my hands are too fucking big for this thing. And then he rails on the gun and their sales tank. And he did the same thing to the Ruger Max 9, which is another great gun. But yeah, you send it to a ginormous dude, number one gun reviewer on YouTube, but you send it to a dude who's got hands twice the size of my giant fucking fat hands. And yeah, give it to give it to his wife, and shut up and let her tell you about it, because it's a really good gun. And everything about it just has a really yeah, the guns take all your money. Yeah, it's got a really smooth feel. It's got a really high end quality feel. Thing runs beautifully, but it does have like a duty trigger, or it's got a 6 pound trigger. So if you can't shoot with it, you can't shoot with it. You better be a better shooter. It's not an entry-level gun. And then also he did the same thing. He railed on the Ruger Max 9, which is another micro 9, another small gun. And but it comes with a 4.5 pound trigger out of the box, optic ready, like 12+1. And it's like $299, and it's been $299 for years. So that thing's a hell. So I couldn't justify buying a 365 P365 when I could get an optic ready Max 9 for 300 cheeseburgers. And and I ended up buying. I have one with a no safety for running in a Kydex holster and inside the waistband, and I have one with a safety on the slide for running without a holster, and I've been very happy with them. But that 4.5 pound trigger is great, and it's weird because the trigger is kind of loosely hung. Let's see if I can explain this. So the trigger bar that holds the shoe, the bar that the shoe hangs from, it's sort of just, I don't know. You can pull the trigger and you could pull it left or you could pull it right, but it just goes straight back and fires. So the trigger is a little bit loose. So, if you're pulling too far down to the left, this is my opposite hand, but if you're pulling the trigger, down, or you're pulling it like whatever direction, the trigger just goes off. It doesn't pull the gun because the trigger shoes hung loosely. It's weird, but it's something I noticed early on. The slot, the like it with a Glock, pulling the trigger too hard or the wrong way doesn't cause a low left shoot. The gun shoots pretty flat and straight. And I don't know anything about the Ruger security. It always seemed like sort of like a like a really, like, it doesn't have a optics mount, and it's just seems like an SD9, SDV9E, whatever that cheap Smith is. It just seemed like a really inexpensive gun. I've never shot it. I'm not really the gun reviewer guy. I literally only shoot what I have, and there's a lot of shit I don't know about or haven't shot. I'm not trying to be an expert on every firearm and every gun or platform. And there's guys who know everything about everything. That is not me at all. I only know about the stuff I've shot. And I'm not even, I'm kind of going down this giant precision rifle rabbit hole. And I like trying cheap guns too, but $299, you get I think you get a Ruger Max 9 for the same price as a PSA dagger, and it's a great carry gun. It's less than the cost of a 43X, and it's the same size, and it's got a decent trigger, and it's optics ready out of the box. So that's the gun I would try. That's the gun I would recommend. But that's what I carry. Like at night when I'm sitting in the garage, I usually have a thing in there. Besides my Kniffy. There's not enough light to see this shit, but I just have my chest pack on. And I can drive with this thing on, and I carried my G20 in Alaska in it. And there might be something in there. Besides my EDC. Oh, wait. Besides my EDC flashlight and a fighting knife, there could be something in there. I don't know. And it could be a 40. It could have the numbers 4 and 3 and a letter close to the end of the alphabet in there. But it's usually a 48. But my red dot battery died, and I've been too lazy to replace the battery in the Holosun. AT, welcome in. Yeah, the AT's always been optics. It has fiber optics and a front fiber optic sight, and it's optics ready, and it's always been that way since the day it hit the market. And it's optics ready, fiber optic sight, optic ready, 12+1, and the same size as a 365. Uh, since the day it hit the market, and if you look, it's always on sale for $299. And I think PSA had them for like 330. I think I saw them for recently. But if you put in wikiarms.com, you'll find the deal on it wherever it is, and it's always $299. And yeah, it's a good gun. But there's a bunch of models, so you just got to check. Um, there's you just got to make sure you're ordering the one. If you want the one without the safety, you got to order the one without the safety. If you want the one with the safety, you got to order the one with the safety. And there used to be like there used to be 3 SKUs, and you just had to like put the SKUs in and figure out which was which before you ordered. Yeah, I love it. Like, so this gun, uh, because I carry it at night, it has a light on it. Now, it's the only downside to the Max 9 is that there's no light mounting option on it. So I carried it for a couple of years, but I recently got a just like the first Canik MC9, because it's roughly the same size. It's a little bit bigger, and you can put a mount on. You mount a weapon mounted light on it. And then, oh shit, can you hear me better now? I had my finger over it. I hope I wasn't fucking up the microphone. So then, oh shit, I'm sorry. Hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up again. I'm sorry, guys. So I just switched it. Like, who knows how many of the, apparently I didn't miss anything. But I had forgotten to. So, I hated the Canik at first because it was snappy. And then I did a couple of videos on shooting the Canik and the 43-ish X because it's my G48, but I have a dagger mini slide on it. But it's a 43X configured, but it's not the actual 43X slide. And I shot the 43X, the Ruger Max 9, and the MC9 side by side in round robin fashion. And I started noticing things about all of the guns that I really like. It takes a while to find out any distinctions. They're all basically all the guns in that size shoot basically all the same. The Canik has a really nice trigger. The Ruger has a really nice trigger, and the Glock is fine. So at this point, I don't think there's any difference. There's not enough difference between any of them to care. The Canik was about 400, and it's fine, and you can put a light on it. And the Ruger is about 300, and it's fine, and you can't put a light on it, but you can put an optic on it. It's cheap, and it's like really reliable. I have one bad magazine that keeps finding its way into the mix, and it's something wrong with the feed ramps, and I get some misfunctions with it, misfires with it. Not misfires, like somethings. It doesn't feed right, and I always like shoot it, and I set it aside, and then all the other mags work perfectly, and then somehow it never and I put it in the back of the closet, and then it always makes its way out into the, and fucks me up. But it's not my carry mag, so it's like a 10 rounder that fucks everything up. Because of where we live, I have a lot of 10 round magazines. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, that's what she said. Well, get her an EZ. Take the gun for yourself. Take the Ruger for yourself, and get her a Smith & Wesson EZ. Because look, that's a reality. I know how, but like people with not strong hands, or people that have wrist problems, or as you get older, you need those softer springs to load the mags and to rack the slide and all that shit. And that gun's had enormous success in the older and female population. The Smith & Wesson EZ, whatever it is, Shield EZ. And I think it comes in a 380 or a 9, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, just get her the EZ. That's a great gun. She'll be really high. And it's like I don't personally like 380. I find it to be really fucking snappy. And for me, there's no win in 380, because 95 grain 380 just seems snappy as fuck. And I'd rather shoot a 9mm. But that's me. What's up, stock investor? I think I subbed to you today. I've been told about the EZ before, but I don't know if I can get it in California. Well, it's very easy. Just ask Google. Google, is the Smith & Wesson EZ, is it Shield EZ, California compliant? And then you'll know. But I don't know if there's a lot of shit that is not on the roster. So you can't buy. Are you a California resident? Or she's any? Because you can't buy it in California, but you can bring it to California if you buy it somewhere else. Don't get a fucking tip down barrel. Get a fucking just a easily sprung mag slide. Get her a 1911 with a 12-pound slide spring. Yeah, that'll work. She needs to get a few rounds in the magazine. She doesn't need to fill it all the way. A tip down barrel. Well, okay, yeah, those Bretta Bobcats cats with the tip barrels are popular with older folks too. I'll admit it, but I don't like them. There's a difference between that's neat and would you ever want to have it or carry it. It comes in horrible. It comes like 22 or 32 or something. Just shit calibers. 380. Oh, all right, I don't even want to get into all that. Unfortunately, I'm a California resident. If it's not on the roster, I can only get it through private sale. Or if you're out of state, you can get it. I mean, if you're out of state, then you go by the laws of what is the state you're in, because you're not in California and you can bring it to California. I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure all the states have sovereignty. So when you're in a different state, like I heard, I don't know which state it is, but somewhere in the South, at least once, like somebody was telling me, J-Dog was telling me on live the other morning, that in their state, you just go and buy it. There's no waiting period, so like they just hand it to you, like an AR. And I never even heard of that because I live in a state that's got a 2-week waiting period on everything, including long guns, including bolt actions. So I don't know if you ever leave California, but if you ever happen to be in some, like, I don't know where J-Dog lives, but I assume it's like somewhere near Dallas. So like, I always thought he was in Dallas, but I'm guessing, well, anyway, like Louisiana or Alabama or Mississippi, somewhere in there, you can probably get a gun in a day. You walk in and buy it and walk out with it. And then you just fly. Not even out of state. If I buy out, shipped my FFL, no, you don't have to have it shipped to your FFL. Why would you have to do that? If you buy it in a place that'll hand it to you over the counter, they'd run the background check and you're in and out in a half an hour. Then you put it in a Pelican case and fly home with it. I don't know. Worthy of more, not worthy of more investigation. I understand, but I don't. I'm sure there's some places that just want your money, because that's what sales is. I don't know that you want to, it'd be again expensive. You have to fly to Alabama to buy, or Baton Rouge to buy a gun, to fly home with it. If that would even work, I have no idea. I'm just saying. All I know is that I can bring my guns to California, but I can't carry them in California. I can't conceal carry them. And well, I don't think it really matters. You can drive across all the state lines, and they're trying to change the laws so that I forget what they call that, but like freedom to pass through the states and not be hassled about your guns. But but in a state where you buy it and carry it out, it doesn't have to get shipped to your FFL. You can fly into California with guns and out of California with guns. You just put them in Pelican case, and because that's all that's all the airlines and the TSA, and those are. Um, but I'm not here to argue with you. I don't know. I'm okay with you doing whatever you think you're supposed to do or have to do. California, you could just Google. I have another phone. We could just Google. Let's check. Let us check. Oh, that's not going to work. Hold up. Okay. Sorry. I had to change hands. Is the Shield EZ on the roster in California?
Yes, some Smith & Wesson M&P Shield models, including the Shield EZ, are on California's handgun roster. However, specific models and features, such as magazines, must comply with regulations. Always check the official roster for the most up-to-date information. For legal advice, consult a professional.
Yeah. That is a fucking horrendous state for gun laws, and we're like right behind them in Washington. So anyhow, but there you go. You can get a Shield EZ. I don't think they like you buying it. So you can definitely drive across all the state lines, but you can't conceal it in different states. I think pretty much every state you just have to put, if you don't have a concealed carry permit in that state and you don't have reciprocity, you have to run one of those stupid ass gun locks through the um, chamber and down through the magazine and lock it and run it in the fucking case, and it can't be loaded. Obviously, at that point, it can't be loaded anyway. But that's how you legally go. If you don't have a concealed carry permit in this state, I can't say other states, but you don't have a concealed carry permit in the state, you have to have all your firearms locked. So it's definitely worth having a CCW. And if it's CCW, you can have all your handguns loaded, and the ones that are on you and the ones that aren't. But your rifles can't be loaded. What about a revolver? Well, then you got to find a revolver that has a pretty light trigger pull. I'm in Texas. If you buy a gun at Walmart, Academy, Bass Pro, just fill out the paperwork. Takes about 5 minutes and pay for it, and they'll walk you to the door, and you leave with a gun in the box. Robbie Rucker, thank you so much for saying that, because it fills my heart with joy knowing that you can fucking do that in states like Texas. The 380 is on the roster, the 9 is not. Well, it's for your mom. Look, it'll be fine. Your mom's not going to use it for anything over 15 feet, right? So it'll be fine in 380. 380 is plenty to change somebody's mind. 22, shoot somebody in the face with a 22, it's going to change their mind about anything they had any stupid fucking thing they were thinking. They're going to have a whole different set of priorities. Yeah, 380 is fine. It's a little snappy. It's not, I prefer a 9. But my wife carries 9s. When she doesn't carry that much. She's usually with me. She's only allowed to leave the house when she's with me. So she doesn't really, she should be carrying her 9 for backup for me. But usually she don't carry. Like, Robbie, don't ever let it change. No. So I'm like looking at a second home in Arizona with like a floor safe just so I can move all the guns there that are going to be that the state of Washington is going to eventually try to take, in the not too distant future, try to take away. Don't California my Texas, right? All those Californians, they're moving to Texas to taste freedom, and then they fucking try to blue your state. Yeah. Damn, I'm handsome. I'm a handsome motherfucker. All right. Sorry. All right. Fuck with you guys. What else? Who else got a gun? Mason, what'd you get? Well, I mean, look, it's for his mom, She's going to go to the range every now and shoot it if he takes her there. Other than that, she's going to have one loaded magazine and it'll last the rest of her life. You're saving all of mankind or just money for now? So, was your back better after when you got home? You took the drugs and you went home and you were fine? Oh yeah, you probably got to pay by the bullet. Probably got to in California. You probably got to get a permit to purchase and pay tax and fill out a 4473, pass a background check for every fucking round of ammo. HP ammo is only $2 more. I don't know what that means. High performance, hollow point, a box. That's not bad. Hollow point ammo, I think I paid about 50 or 54 cents a round for 124 grain federal HST, and I bought like about 600 rounds or so. Because I mean, all I ever do with hollow points, I'll run a mag every now and then, but I just want to make sure I had enough. Bought some of those like a few of those 200 round battle packs. It's always the other guy. Currently, where, if you don't mind my asking, what part of California are you in? They're fucking, every time they talk about putting in an ammo tax in this fucking state, they'll go buy another 1,000 rounds of everything. And, or several thousand rounds of everything. And it's just fucking dog shit. Northeastern, like north, like up in Trinity area, or just like Sac or Grass Valley or something like that. Chico. If you don't mind my calling out the names of cities, if you feel the greater need for anonymity, don't feel the need to respond. But yeah, I guess Sacramento would be Northern California. It'd be Central though. That's Central, even though it's right next to Tahoe, which is Eastern. It's interesting how the Central Valley. Let's see. Does the Central Valley? Yeah, I guess it does. Never mind. But yeah, I mean that's like up around Trinity. It's like some of the nicest fucking gorgeous, just stunning areas. Trinity is, I'm talking about Trinity River Valley, Trinity River drainage, Trinity, Feather, and the Cal Salmon, which is like pretty much up by Reading. But Reading's kind of like I-5, so like those are all Mount like just south of Mount. I want to say Lassen. No, Mount. What the fuck is the shit? Why am I blanking out? What's the mountain up there? Shasta. Those are all up by Shasta. Okay, so is Chico south of? Is Chico near Grass? I used to race cars out in Willows. It was about 80 miles north of Sac at Thunderhill years ago. You know, they're trying to turn all that weed legal. And then I found out from a friend years ago, he's got a medical card. You can't buy a gun. Yeah, you don't want to get the medical card if you really like having guns. They're not very inconsistent. Yeah, Shasta. I was blanking on that for a second. So isn't Lassen just south of Shasta, or like a couple of 100 miles south of Shasta, 100 miles or so south of Shasta? Lassen? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I lived in Santa Cruz for about 15 years. The fucking hippie town of hippie towns. Oh shit, what did I do? My thumb hit that. You're about 2.5 hours east of Reading. So that is northern and it is eastern. But so you're somewhere what? Okay, whatever, man. You're in a fucking gorgeous part. So is it green where you live or is it brown? That's kind of what I'm asking. That's what interests me. But yeah, so people have no idea that Northern California is just an unbelievably beautiful area. I was going to say Northern California, Northern California. People call Sacramento Northern California. Sacramento is like what the southern line of Northern California because you can't call it Central California anymore. But you get up in the northern part of the state and it is just fucking gorgeous. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's just been a long time. I haven't been there and right on. High desert, right on. I like that. There's my kid is in San Luis Obispo area, and we just love it there too. But and slow, but but I can't fucking consider moving to California again for two reasons. One is it's really expensive, and two, the fucking gun laws bite ass. I can't bring my shit. But we're talking about maybe retiring around. Or getting a winter home, second home or a winter home around Vegas, and that way we're 5 hour drive, 5 or 6 hour drive from Slow, and but close to the Colorado River. A lot of boating when it's not dried up. Well, Mason, it is both the West Coast is both wonderful and dog shit. The states are gorgeous and the the scenery is gorgeous and it's lush and green and Susanville, there you go. But the politics are all kinds of fucked up. Just stupid fucking shit. Like I was always a Democrat, and the party has just gotten so stupid and so far to the left that it's mind-boggling. Just they're fucking it up for lack of It's like a dog chasing its own tail, and who can out left each other. So anyhow, and and who could suck each other's dick to be more leftist, and it's just a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's not helping anyone. The best geographical give you is on about 1.5 hours north of Reno. Yeah, you didn't have to keep going. I got it. I'm not trying to pinpoint you, but yeah, it's like so it's like you're somewhere a little bit north of Weed, basically. Would be my guess, Susanville. Um, because I just don't even. Oh shit! What are you doing talking to us if you're in Reno tonight? I used to go to like the casino in Reno when I would drive or race out at Reno Fernley, and I used to say, man, you fucking put all the people in that, like it was like the biggest casino in Reno was like the Sands, I think. This is like 20, 30 years ago. And I'd be like, man, you put all the people in this casino together and you get one set of teeth. That's a joke. You guys should be laughing right now. Sorry, I was looking at something. Looking at the other phone. Because things been just been getting. Those are all the boat cushions behind me for the inside of the cabin. All right, cool. Yeah, I can't keep track of it. Like I can't. Um, you get what do you call it, live mind, where you can't process shit because you're on live. But I moved out of California 20 something years ago, so it doesn't really compute for me anymore. And besides, we're not trying to pin you down. I just trying to get an idea of what is 3 hours west of Susanville. I thought, I just didn't think the state goes that far. Like if you're on I-5, I didn't think you had 3 hours of eastbound travel in the state. I guess, what, you go into you go north up to like the Trinity or the Salmon or whatever, you get up to like Weaverville or something, and you go east of there, you're going to get to the top of that mountain. You're going to come down the other side on the east side of it, and it's going to be pretty dry because you're in, like what is that? You're east of the Sierra, and it's all dry over there. You're basically in Nevada, northern Nevada, at that point. The J Resort. Well, I'm sure the 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 clientele does not have a better the overall clientele does not have a better dental record than the Sands. Um, but I guess Reno's pretty jumping for like hot August nights. I'm sure they still have that. That's like the biggest thing in Reno. How long ago did the Sands get renamed the J? Like 20 years ago? 15, 10 years ago? Something stupid. I don't care if people know where I'm at, and it basically is Nevada. Yeah, plus nobody's going to fucking come find you because, it's like, I hope you don't mind me saying, but it's literally the middle of nowhere, right? You're in basically northern Nevada. Like you would need a reason to go there. I mean, you're in California, but it might as well be like northern Nevada, and you'd need a reason to go. But how's that like how's the long distance shooting there? I mean, imagine you've got, a lot of open space. Oh, see, I've only been gone 20 years, 21 years. So, but that's the J Resort is a stupid fucking name. I'll just say they should have kept it to Sands. That was a great legacy. For dentists all across the country. But like I always wondered, besides it being California and people are stupid, I'm sure everybody in northeastern uh, California is Republican, right? So, or more than anywhere else in California, um, because you're living out in the middle of nowhere. So I would imagine there's long distance shooting, as a possibility. And you and I have talked about long distance shooting. Yeah, but 500 is not bad at all. Like it's the middle of nowhere, and I prefer that we only have one proper range, and it only goes to 500. Only goes to 500. Yeah, like no, sorry, bro, that's fucking awesome. We have two places that have 600-yard competitions here, but only one of them goes to 550, and I don't know of anything else within 3 hours that goes out past 550. And it's an hour to one that goes to 550, but I happily drive it all the time because it's fucking beautiful. Although you'd have to have a fucking John boat to get there right now. I don't know if I'm sure everybody's got fucked weather at the moment, but it's been raining for 3 days straight in Washington at a pretty heavy clip, and literally every river in Western Washington is flooding at the moment. So it's not really affecting us too bad. We live on top of a hill, and like our road home over one of those rivers is closed because the river's over its banks, but we just took a different way home. So, but a lot of people are probably getting fucked right now. The only blue part of the states are in the cities and down south. Once you're outside of the city, it's all red. Of course, that's what I'm saying. But it's not like Nevada, which is all red. You still got some. Redding's all blue for sure. Because last time I was there, they had fucking hippie co-ops and shit. I'm sure they still do. Like if we lived in California, any California shitty, pretty much, you could be very happy as a vegetarian your whole life. If, that was your gig. Like it's a level of blue that is way beyond levels of blue anywhere else, except maybe Seattle. But Seattle's not like there's bluer parts of California than there are in Seattle. But oh my God, it's fucking stupid here. It is. And I'm like at this point, I consider myself middle of the road or something, but it's just fucking stupid. So, what else? Who else got a gun? So it seems like a good thing to talk about. I got guns, but you've already heard of, I got a bunch of guns at Black Friday. But most of you have already heard about my guns. And they're all basically the fucking same. Like the thing that changes is maybe the caliber. But everything's like some kind of 6mm precision rifle build. Really? I never imagined Washoe County would be blue. Clark County is Vegas and it's blue? Oh my God. How did this shit happen? Washoe County's like Reno. That's fucking horrific. That is horrific. The only thing I remember about Reno is there's like a Summit Racing there and an In-N-Out Burger. And it's close to the Sands, obviously. I always liked Carson City better. Like if I was going there, I would just go to Carson. Of course, the brothels. Go to the fucking Bunny Ranch, right? Because I used to smoke cigars with Dennis Hoff at the Bunny Ranch. Now, I'm not like any kind of fucking, big maca or nothing. Like, I'm not, the man, but, Dennis Huff, when he was alive, was a super nice dude and very fun and enjoyable. And he smoked cigars, and I'd go hang out at the Bunny Ranch and, sit just hang out at the bar and smoke cigars with him. And he's a super friendly guy. And we're talking decades upon decades ago. No, I never would, I always stayed in the bar. I would never go into the, yeah, but Carson City's way better than, oh my God, there used to be this barbecue place in Carson City, and I couldn't tell you the name of it because it's been 20 something years. And they would serve a 27-ounce cowboy steak on one of those metal beer serving trays that would have the edges turned up, and it'd be like a bar tray, and that was the plate. And they would serve 27-ounce smoked barbecued prime rib with all the fixins, and if you could eat it, they'd give you another portion for free. And I did. I finished the plate, but I'm like, they're like, yo, you ready for the next one? I'm like, fuck no. They don't give you that one free. They just give you the next one free. I'm like, who the fuck's going to eat the next one? I'm a local truck driver, and most of my time is spent in Nevada. Can you buy a gun in Nevada? Boy, the Shield is on, the Shield EZ is on the roster in California, so you just get it there for your mom. Bro, you're 3 hours north of Reno. Is that what you said? Northwest of Reno? Is that what it? Do you have to drive over any mountains to get there, or you're basically just driving south through the middle of nowhere? I used to do races out around Elko and Ely. Red's old 395 Cafe. It's still there. They still have the challenge. Hell yeah. Well, so the thing about it is the challenge doesn't matter. The fucking steak is delicious. Like, I don't remember if it was smoked or just grilled, but, prime rib grilled in barbecue sauce was fucking delicious. And I loved that. That was like one of my favorite all-time dinners. So yeah, that was fucking amazing. My stomach hurts just thinking about it. But it was a good pain. Well, yeah, you nailed it. Red Roll 395 Cafe. Was it on 395? Does 395 even go through Carson? As I was saying, I used to race cars, and like they used to have these open road races out in the early 2000s, like 2001 through 5, and probably a little longer than that. They would have the Gamblers Run, and I don't know if on 395 they would close down 50, 85, 100 miles of Highway 395 from north of Elko to who the fuck knows where, and they'd close it down and they'd post people out at the cattle guards, and you could go really fucking fast. Like, well, sort of back to my, back to Bruce is, so you could race. It was like a high-speed rally, open road racing. It's on old 395, which is Main Street, Carson City. So I didn't know that, but it seemed like, so does 395 go south of, or it goes north and south? It goes south, because I thought it was near Elko, or Ely. But there was a bunch of races, and I don't remember which is which, but does 395 go south from like I-80 down to Vegas? It ends like in or very close to Vegas. But yeah, I used to race on 395 in like at fucking 170 miles an hour with the top down and a convertible Z28 with a roll bar. Probably I was like raking motions. That was fucking crazy fucking shit. That was crazy fucking racing because I was like the number 5 death sport in the country at the time. I did a few of those and I was like, I think I'll take it. Yeah, I know it goes north to south, but does it run through Ely or Elko? I think Elko? I can't fucking remember this shit. It's 25 fucking years ago. And I didn't keep up on it. But yeah, we would stay somewhere around off I-80 for all these races. We would stay somewhere off of I-80. I think one was based in Elko and one was based in Ely. And I remember one of the races was on 395, and I think it went south from I-80, and then the other one went just a little north. One was out of Ely, and one was based out of Elko, and that's sort of what I remember. Oh my god, that shit was fun, but it was crazy because you'd be doing like 120 something on a mountain road with a 2-lane mountain road with 200 feet of air to the creek below you and a mountain wall to your left, and then and there's no oncoming, so you got so you could run on the yellow line in the middle, and then kind of come out of the mountain and you hit like a cattle guard or a bridge lip over a creek. You catch air and a couple of like a foot of air maybe, and then you land it, and then you just get on it. You're doing like 160, 170 through the desert for 40 miles. Where you're doing like you slow down to like it'd be like 3 miles a straight and then a bend, and then 5 miles a straight and then a bend, or 9 miles straight and a bend. I think that it's a 99 Z28 with just a little bit of work done on it, convertible. And I had that thing up to like 173. And I would just run it, foot on the floor at 170 with the top down, 172. And I would, but at the time I didn't have 50 weight in the car, and the oil pressure would start dropping, and I'd have to back it down to like 140 and then 145, wait for the oil pressure to build again, and then get back in it to 171, 172, 173 for a while till I lost oil pressure. But oh my God, it's really fucking, you don't even know how fast you go until you try and stop. We live in Elko, or in eastern Nevada, close to Utah. Elko is on I-80, Ely is on I-50. Well, I guess that wasn't the Gambler's Run, because the Gambler's Run was on 395, but I don't remember where. Oh, well, maybe we stayed in Reno for it. I don't fucking remember. I don't remember, but I know we raced on 395. I think that one was going south, but I could look at the map. I'm sure we could Google the old Gamblers Run stuff, because that stuff's on the internet. Yeah, and I used to live on I-50 in Colorado, in Gunnison, Colorado, back in the earlier 80s. So that's 20 years before that. I was like, when I was a young man. All right, hold it. We're going to Google it. Gamblers Run, Highway 395, Nevada. No, now it's the music festival. What kind of dog shit is this? Gamblers Run, open road race, Highway 395, Nevada. Gambler 500.
The Gamblers Run is a rally focused on public land cleanup and adventure, not just.
Gamblers Run, open road race, Highway 395, Nevada.
The Gamblers Run is actually the nickname for Nevada's Silver State Classic Challenge,
Yes.
an open road race. It takes place on a closed section of Highway 318 near Lund and focuses on average speed, not just top speed, with events in May and September.
Well, there you have it. That was on 318 near Lund. I don't know if that was where it was 20-something years ago. But then there would have been another one on 395 going south. And because one went north of I-80 for about 80 miles or so, or 50 miles, and then you turn around. And then one would go south from I-80 for about 50 to 80 miles. So, Silver State Classic, the Gambler's Run, that was what it was called. State Route 318 between London and Hiko, Nevada. Concept, because it would be a high-speed rally race with speed classes from 95 up to 165. And at 165, it became a elapsed time open road race with, just the fastest guy wins. In the rally type events below that, you would race for, the best, whoever was closest to the ideal average speed. And I think first one I did, I was the first time I did it at like 95, and I think I'd run it up to about 115, 120. Second time I did it, I was at 145, and I ran it like 120 on the mountain road, and like up to about 172. And I wasn't too concerned about where I placed in the thing. I was concerned about having a fucking blast. I was just in running the car as fast as I could, and that was 173 with the top down. Lund is just south of Ely. Well, there you go. And then there was another event out of Elko. So let's see. But it was with the Silver State Classic group. It was with the cars. It was like Roger Ward's Indy car. It's like it was the nephew of Roger Ward. So let's see. Early 2000 open road race out of Elko, Nevada. No. Silver State Classic deaths. Yeah, let's not look at that because I'm sure there was a few of them. All right, we're going to give up on that. Oh, look at that. Magusta. We're just going to skip this. It's interesting, but it's not that interesting. But what the hell? We can talk about anything in the live. Right? What the hell? You got time to chat about this shit. So there are two of them. It's basically nice run. Okay, well, Winnemucca. Oh, was one of these races out of Winnemucca? It may have been. Isn't Winnemucca kind of a mining town on I-80? Where's it on I-50? I used to drive across Nevada every now and then. I lived in Gunnison, Colorado, and I used to drive out to California. I've done that a few times. to the on Highway 50 because my house in Gunnison was literally like a block off Highway 50, and you just get on I-50 and then they put it the last time I was on it, they put up these signs of the loneliest road, and I was like, man, before they put those signs up, it felt a whole lot lonelier. When I used to drive across in the early 80s, mid 80s. Okay. Well, I wonder if one of the races was out of Winnemucca. I don't know. I'm picturing like one horrible brothel, like it would for the miners. Um, dear God. Um, yeah. Anyhow, so like all the counties for the other people that are in here or whatever. Um, it's a mining town. Okay, well that's cool. Um, so you were there paving a parking lot for a new truck stop. That's pretty awesome. That sounds like it'd be a big old bunch of asphalt. Um, I was gonna just say like uh, brothels are legal in all of Nevada except for what Henderson County, or except for Vegas, wherever the hell Vegas is, the one county where Vegas is. Um, and yeah, and I think for those for people who live there or whatever, they probably pay no mind. But I was always like thought it was like particularly cool because I wasn't from there. So interesting. It's interesting stuff. Anyhow, um, cool. So tell us about what did you say? Your grandpa's 30-30. Your grandpa's 30-06. Is that what what we were talking about the other night? Who made it? What's there to tell? I was thinking about a long action. I'll do that one day, but not today. Get like a 300 PRC for out past a mile. Or maybe we'll have some other plan by then. I know your dream is to do a Sharps rifle, but you may have seen Quigley Down Under to me. I mean, look, I think that's fucking awesome. Like, I can't even imagine shooting 600 yards in open sights, but I have buddies that do it all the time. But it's just mind blowing to me. It's a Winchester Model 94 30-30. It's my grandmother's. Well, that is fucking wonderful. That is wonderful. I just got my wife a Golden Boy, and I haven't really looked at it that much, but the action on it is sort of rounder. It's like the old. I don't know what model it is. Is it the 1873? Is it what fucking model is that Golden Boy meant to be? Because it's like a much earlier Winchester like action. Like what was the first one? Fuck, I don't know. But and didn't you also have a 30-06 that from the family? You fall asleep. We can wrap it up, and you go get another cigar and sit here in the dark and not be on live. Just the Golden Boy is near direct clone of the Marlin 336. And no, the 3030 is the only rifle other than a couple of 22s. Okay, cool. Well, it was late and I was busy reloading while having the conversation, but I thought you had a 30-06 from the family. I've never shot 3030. I have a 308 leather gun. I have a 308 Browning lever gun, but it is a lever gun, but it's kind of high end. It's like fancy. It's a little fancy. And it's not like like a Marlin or a Henry or it's like with your 90. Like I have a 92 uh, Rossi Model 92 357, and I don't care what anybody says. Fucking Rossies are dog shit. Just and they aren't much cheaper than Marlins. Not cheap enough to like. I bought it was my first lever gun. I think I have my 22 Henry for the wife, and then I got a 357 Rossi lever, and I'll tell you, it's a fucking nice gun. The BLR's nice. And if you look through my, you scroll down through my videos and shorts, mine's like a stainless and satin nickel action with a stainless barrel and the gray laminated wood and the takedown and the what the fuck's I gonna say? It's like silver and gray and black. It's pretty. It's pretty, and it fucking reeks of quality. It's just really smooth and really solid, like an old Marlin. Like old Marlins just have wonderful quality. But it's a clone of, but it just feels cheap. Is all. It's not a Marlin. It's not an old Marlin. And yes, it is. So it's a M92 or an R92 is clearly a Model 92. That's a beautiful model of gun. But if I were to do it again, you could go on Gunbroker and get a used, JM old Marlin from when Marlin owned it. John Marlin owned it, and the thing's just going to be epic, right? It may be old, maybe a little shot out, but maybe not, but it's going to be epic. And we're just from pre-Ruger, because a lot of people don't shoot their guns. Not a lot of people aren't putting enough thousands of rounds down it to fuck it up. But it's like a hunting rifle. They shoot 5 rounds a year, or something, right? But yeah, you could get you can get JM Marlins for $650 in beautiful condition, if I remember correctly. 650 cheeseburgers, as opposed to 750 or more for a Rossi. And the Rossi, it's fine, and it's a great gun for the range. It's a good range toy. You don't have to worry about beating it up. You don't have to worry about shit. It's just, it looks good and it shoots okay. It's a little bit dinky. It does not have the Marlin quality, and I just wouldn't, but it's fine for beating the shit out of it and running a bunch of rounds through it, because, you ain't gonna pass that. I mean, you could, but you probably ain't gonna pass that down to your kids, or hopefully you got an old Winchester to pass down to your kids. Even a BLR. So my BLR shoots fucking lights out. I'll set it up on bench rests and front rest and stuff, and even without a bipod, it's shooting sub 1 MOA. That's a 308, and it's fucking beautiful. And I have other Brownies that really have me pissed off at the moment that don't shoot that great. I have 2 that shoot fabulous and 2 that shoot dog shit. And I'm getting ready to. And I bought the Browning Target Max, and in 6 GT X-Bolt Target Max. Everything about it's fabulous, except it best I can get it to shoot is 1.2 MOA. Like I can take it with me to the club, shoot a 600-yard match, and come in first or second with a sub 1 MOA group at 600 yards, and go to the members range and shoot the Browning 6 GT, and I can't get it under 1.2 MOA. And it just fucking kills me because I can't compete with it. I can't do anything with it. I can do shoot it and grumble. So I did finally I called Browning about it, and they're like, yeah, we ain't gonna do anything about it. I'm like, fuck you. It's only got a 1.5 MOA guarantee. And I'm like, the X-Bolt Target Max has a 1.5 MOA guarantee. What the fuck am I going to do with that? That is not good enough, guys. And then I called back again. I was like so pissed for so long, months. And then I called back, and like the guy's words would just like make me spit all the fucking time. And then I called back another day, like last week or so, and talked to the guy. He was like, yeah, you can send it back we'll lap it and check the crown. And, I'm hoping they do a little more than that. I'm hoping they get it well below 1 MOA. But I'm going to send it back. And I'm going to talk to, anyhow. And I'm hoping they do something to it. Whether they admit to what they did or not, I'm hoping they fix that fucking thing, or just get it better. Because if not, I'm going to have to either rebarrel it. It was a stupidly expensive gun, and I'm going to have to spend more money on it, or just sell it at a loss. And I hate doing that to a gun. I hate selling. If I sell a gun, I want to shoot right, not shoot like shit. But anyhow, it is what it is, right? So let's see. If you want a faithful reproduction, look at Cimarron Firearms. They are the complete original design, even truer to the original than modern Winchesters. And modern Winchesters are owned by FN Browning, which is a Belgian company. And I think they're made in fucking Portugal, which is sad. I have some Winchester. Which is the Mirror? The Mirror. One of these fucking Brownings was made. Oh, I have a BAR. I know. Oh, so the BLR that I have shoots fucking lights out, and it doesn't, and it's just fucking wonderful. And man, it's just like mechanically wonderful. And and I have a BAR with the detachable box mag in 308. And it's got a 1.5 MOA guarantee on it, and it shoots about 1.5 MOA. But I mean, it's not like the other BARs are the hunting rifles, the safari models from like the 60s on up. Those are hunting, but they're not known. The Mark 2s, 1s, 2s, and 3s, and now the Mark 4s. But nobody ever, they were never known as being particularly accurate guns. Sometimes you get an accurate one, but they shoot about 1.5 MOA, which is probably fine. Yeah, Moroku in Japan. But some of them aren't, because I bought a XPR for my wife, a lefty XPR, and I'm pretty sure it's a Portugal gun. But you're probably referring to the bolt actions. Well, you gotta fucking Japanese build nice guns. They really do. I have a bunch of Howa actions, and they're really good. So my BLR shoots really good, and my X-Bolt in 6.5 PRC shoots really good, and it's a dream to shoot. And then that Target Max is not accurate, even though if it shot below like 0.6 MOA, if I could get 3 holes touching, like every time I shoot the X-Bolt in 6.5 PRC, I shoot 3 holes touching And I put the gun, and I'm like satisfied, and I put the gun away. It's got no rounds through it because I'm like, I'll shoot three rounds. They're all touching each other, and I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Like how are we gonna get? How's it gonna be? I shoot three rounds. They all the holes touch, and then it's like, okay, well, it ain't gonna get any better than that. And I just put it away, and I haven't carried it in the field yet. But I think it'll be a fucking lights out hunting rifle. I just think it'll be amazing. And what else do I have that's a Moroku? I think the BLR is a Moroku gun. Um, but wouldn't make sense because if it was a Moroku gun, it would probably shoot better than 1.5 MY. I think it's made in Portugal, made in Japan, and assembled in Portugal, is I think what they did. And so the Portuguese are fucking it up. I don't know. I'd have to look, but I'm not really happy with the accuracy of the BAR or the Target Max. And for me, I mean, it's just not fun shooting the gun if it's not shooting. What's the purpose of it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the BAR? Even though it's a box fed mag, it's still basically a 308 hunting rifle. And I suppose 1.5 MOA is fine if you're shooting a deer at 100 yards. At 200 yards, it's a 3-inch group. I don't know. I mean, it'd probably be okay, but why? But you're going to take something that shoots better. And I got a couple of 6.5 Creeds. I've got a Howa 6.5 Creed that will be fine out to 400, even though it's got a 16-inch barrel. It's still going to be fine. I got the 6.5 PRC, which is going to be good for a long fucking way. And I got a bunch of other shit. So, when am I going to pick that thing? The Moroku guns have magnificent quality, but they are not true to the original design. One specific that comes to mind is that I hate is they have a rebounding hammer. What is a rebounding hammer? I don't know that expression. Does it not have the quarter cock safety position? The Browning, the BAR does. I don't know rebounding hammers. I'm not really a lever gun guy, but I've just keeps it. But I wouldn't get another lever gun in a pistol caliber. I think Henry needs to take their Lever Supreme that they fucked all the marketing on, and I doubt the sales are very good. That shoots a 223 out of a PMag, and they need to make that a 308, and that would be fucking cool. They need to make it a short action and chamber it in 308 and maybe 6.5, and that would be a cool fucking gun. I'd get that. Like the BAR has got a 4-round magazine, and I mean, it's great. And I would if I if I wasn't if I didn't take my it's a legitimate hunting rifle for sure. And if you had a horse and a scabbard, it would be super cool too. But the I just don't, and it's light, it's relatively light, but I just wouldn't, I would just, I'm kind of more bolt action guy these days, and I would just take a bolt action 6.5 Creed or six. Well, basically, I have a 6.5 Creed for timber and a 6.5 PRC for clear cut and for deer hunting, because and it'd just be hard to take a 308 because it's not going to match the PRC for distance, and it's not going to match the Howa Superlight for weight. That's like a 5-pound gun, under 7, fully dressed out with a scope and a can. But I'm pretty certain, in fact, that the BAR is made by Moroku, but it's assembled. The parts are made by Moroku, but it's assembled in Portugal. But my wife's XTR is a really nice gun. Does not have a half cock position. Instead, it has a switch safety, and the hammer has a second spring that holds the rest position off of the bolt. That doesn't sound great. I mean, why wouldn't they just give it the? Oh, that sucks because the BLR does have the safety position. Like it's not even half cock. It's like what is it? It's a quarter cock position. I think it's got a full cock. I don't think it has the half cock. I think it's got a full cock and a quarter cock safety position. That's the other thing that I don't like about it for hunting. Although I like that because it's more like a traditional Winchester, you know, or a traditional lever gun. But if you're hunting, you know, in a bolt action, you already have you would just hit the thumb safety when you're and shoot. But whatever your process is, but you just hit the thumb safety and you're ready to shoot. Where the BLR, you have to get your thumb. So, and mine has a scope on it. You have to get your thumb under the scope and pull the hammer back, and then you can fire it. And I don't know that I like that. And every time I look for the I don't know what you call it, but it's the hammer extender. And it's the thing that sticks out that kind of screws onto the side of the hammer, and it just gives you an extender on it so you can knock it back with your thumb without having to find it and pull it back. That just seems a little bit more involved than just popping your thumb safety and going to work. I grew up on horseback, and a bolt action rifle is harder to carry because of how far the bolt sticks out. Exactly. And that's why I was saying, like, the BLR would be a great scabbard gun. But then you would only want the flush fit magazine. I think in Australia, there's like 2 companies that make a 10 rounder, but they won't export. But you wouldn't want that if you had it in a scabbard. I mean, if you're going to carry a rifle in a scabbard, it might as well be a traditional, like, Winchester style. They even have the saddle ring on them. But yeah, I think we're both making the same point. And I've ridden, but I didn't grow up on horseback. But it just seems like elk hunting on horseback would be a lot fucking better than elk hunting on foot. But how many rounds of 30-30 fit in the tube magazine? 4? Oh, I see. Yeah, but then you've got the two. Then you've got the, yeah. Well, that's what we're saying. Is that you wouldn't? Well, a flush fit mag and a BLR, because we were talking about the BLR. I'm sorry, I went to a different place because you can't even get a 10-round magazine in this country. But yeah, it's got a 4-round flush fit magazine in the BLR, and I don't remember all the chamberings, but it's like a lot. Browning does chamber does put a lot of chambers in their guns. Does chamber a lot of rounds for their guns. But yeah, you definitely get a 243 or a 270. No, not about a 270. Yeah, I think they do long actions on all those guns also, on all the, and yeah, but 308, 243, they may do long actions. I don't know. Let's see. 7 rounds of 30-30. Wow. Is that right? Because you only fit 6. How long's the barrel? It's like a 24-inch barrel. You're reconsidering that? You can only get 6 rounds of 357 in the Rossi 92, but it's got, I think, only a 16-inch barrel. I'm thinking 4 in the tube. I don't think you get four rounds of any hunting cartridge in a tube-fed magazine. 7 rounds in rifle length, 5 in carbine. I like that. I like that. Well, at this point, I love levers, and I love the idea of getting a hunting caliber in a lever, but I have it in a 308, and I just can't see it, and I'm not going to carry it because I've got a 6.5. I've got 6.5s, but and we mostly have deer here, so and they're not even big deer. The western blacktails are, I think, considerably smaller than muleys and whitetails. And obviously I could go into Eastern Washington or hunt in other states, but 6.5 PRC is plenty of fucking gun. If I want to get an elk cartridge or a moose cartridge, then I can, go up from there. But I don't hunt enough, and I'm not addicted to hunting. I enjoy hunting or hiking in the woods with guns, but I'm much more into long range shooting. Much more into shooting than I am. And hunting is like everything but shooting. You have to be a good shot. You have to be a good rifleman. You have to have a fairly good hunting game to hunt, to shooting game to hunt. But hunting is really everything else. It's not about shooting animals. It's about tracking animals, or glassing, and waiting quietly, or whatever the hell, and dressing the animal and packing it out. But the shooting part is, you got to be proficient, but it's the least amount of time is the shooting. The new Ruger made Marlin 336 and 4570 would be a good option for me. Well, probably not. I mean, I've shot it and I love it, and I love the cartridge, and I love the thump of the gun, but it's just not that hard hitting because of people don't realize it doesn't hit that hard because it's got a nice thump to it, but it's the size of the grain weight of the bullet is significant, so it really counters the recoil. Matches on Sunday, pardon me, and I'm not reloading for it because my reloading experiment was a failure, and or a learning experience. I'm gonna shoot factory loads. I'm gonna clean the guns. I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna clean the guns, return one of them to the last settings that I had on the scope, and that's my prep for the match. I don't need to do anything, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna shoot. One of my buddies is very accomplished in the bench rest world, or pretty well accomplished in the bench, like a fucking amazing shooter. And his mentors are some of the best bench rest shooters in the state. And he told me last night that I'm going to be doing his reloading program, and I'm going to be learning a lot of shit. And when I'm done, I'm going to have fucking exquisite bullets. And but it's like a lot of math and science and shit. But bench rest is about the most accurate type of shooting that I know of, and it's like reloading at a whole other levels, way, way, way beyond. And I'm just beginning reloading. He's like, look, you're just gonna do this fucking right from the beginning, and that way you don't spend years fucking around trying to, doing all the stupid shit that you're talking about, because none of that works, and you can do it this way, and it's gonna work, and you're gonna be, and you're just gonna learn it. And I'm like, okay, cool. But he's super OCD, and his method is super sciencey. And he explained it to me, and it all made perfect sense. And I'm like, wow, it's like light years beyond what I thought reloading was. And it's like it's a bench rest program. It's like hyper accuracy. So anyhow, I'm gonna learn how to reload. the, from him, and he's a top guy in this area, and he learned from one of the top guys in the state or at the national level, consistently top for years and years. So I'm feeling very lucky, and pardon me while I choke. So I'll let you go to sleep, man. Yeah, let's jump off. Thank you for the conversation. And yeah, don't buy any Rossies. Get it like if you get a BLR, and the BLRs are not cheap, but if you get a BLR, I hope you get a beautiful Marlin for way less than, and even like a used JM Marlin in perfect condition for 60% of the price or less, 50% of the price of a new BLR. But if you get a BLR, I hope you get one as accurate as mine is. And if we ever get together, and it's always possible that it'll all come together for groups of us to shoot. I mean, I like Chance and I hung out recently. I went up to where he lives and sold him a gun. We're just wrapping up. So maybe we get to shoot, and I'll bring some guns for you to shoot, and you're welcome to shoot my BLR. And it's accurate, man. I love that thing, and I just don't shoot it enough. But I'm gonna bring it out for the channel more because it's so fucking beautiful. But when I have like a whole bench rest program going on, and I've got, or not a bench rest, but it's bench rest competitions. When I have that going on, I've got like a program that I got to go fucking do this or that to get ready for a match or do some ammo testing or blah, blah. So it's hard to get it out. But some days I'm just like, I want to shoot this, and I'll take it out and shoot. But go back and check my videos. It's fucking beautiful. But like, you can't have any flash hiders or threaded barrels in the state, and they don't sell it that way anyway. So it's like 2-foot fireball comes out the front every time you pull the trigger. I got to go hunt a late night snack. I don't know where from, but I'm hungry. Well, I support that. I completely support that, JP. AT, thank you for coming in. I saw some 35, Rems, and I saw these on Gunbroker recently, 336 Marlins and Glenfields even for about $6.5. I just don't need a 30-30, or I just wouldn't carry it, All right, have a safe ride home, AT, if you're still here, and I'm going to wrap this thing up. Yeah, so I definitely support you in getting an old Marlin, like not even an old Marlin, just a JM Marlin, JM stamp Marlin, and because they're so fucking nice. My buddy has one, and I checked his out after I'd bought a Rossi, and they were pretty close in price, and I was like, and he bought a used JM Marlin, and it was with a 24-inch octagonal barrel. I was like, man, this thing is so nice. And my Rossi's fun and it shoots fine and everything, but it is not nearly the quality of an old Marlin. So yeah, get the Marlin. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you see them, and like at a gun store and stuff, and yeah, and you know what? That sounds perfect. You get it for about $7, and you're set. Because if you get it on Gunbroker, you're going to pay shipping and an FFL fee where, but if you buy it from a store, they're their own FFL and you don't have to pay the FFL fee. So that's another like $50 that you don't have to pay. So it works out about the same. So if you buy it for $6.50 on Gunbroker, you're going to pay like a fee for Gunbroker, and then you're going to pay like what 10%, and then you're going to pay shipping probably. You're going to pay $50 to transfer it, $50 to transfer it at an FFL. So you might as well buy it for $750 from a gun store from nice people, hopefully, and you know. Marlon's nice, but I'm a Winchester man. Well, I know. So, what year? Do you know what year they started? They moved production um, to Moroku. Yeah. I mean, look, I think, I mean, I would buy a new Winchester, but you don't have the illusion that it's the old, um, what is it, New Haven Winchester. It's a recreation. You're buying the Aura. You're buying a imported gun. Um, so I mean, I would buy an old Marlin. I would buy an old Winchester before I bought a new Winchester from Browning. I used to love Browning. I was like a Browning fanboy, and now I'm kind of pissed at them. And we'll see if they fix um, the target gun. But well, where are the new Henrys made? They're still American made. I think it says in big letters "Made USA" on the box. Um, and is there such thing as an old Henry? Like when did Henry start making guns? Because I don't know. Um, well, do you shoot them? Because I have a couple now, and I feel pretty fucking good about them because they're. I just bought my wife a Golden Boy for Christmas. She doesn't even know about it, and it's hiding in the house. And oh my god, it is fucking gorgeous, and it's amazing. So, but they're not made by Marlin. Well, they don't have to be because there's you can get them in black, and then it's just Parkerized. Um, so if you please, if you want to explain what you mean by that, they're just um, I mean Henrys are and they're similar. I don't know. I don't know what you're referencing. They're not made by Ruger, right? That's still they're their own gun company. Um, Sorry, I was saying something, but I forgot what it was. So yeah, I love the Henry I just bought for my wife, and she's gonna fucking shit when she sees that thing. That Golden Boy is fucking gorgeous. Um, so anyhow, um, yeah, I would get an old one. I would certainly get an old Winchester, or I would certainly get an old Marlin. I'm just babbling on because I checked out my buddy's, Marlin and thought, oh my God, this thing shot it. And I was like, oh my God. After, like, I shot it before I got my Rossi, but I didn't even think about it. And then, like, I didn't remember it. And then I shot, I got the Rossi and I shot it a bunch. And then I went back and shot his Marlin. And I was like, oh my God, this is a whole other level of gun. I know you know what I mean. Like, this is a whole other, like, the clouds peel back. It's a beautiful, well-made piece of machinery. And the Rossi isn't, it shoots fine, but it's like a Taurus, which is actually a very fair thing to say because they're both made or owned by Brazil Tech. Um, it works and everything, but it's a little shoddy. And it gets it done, but it ain't. It just doesn't have the level of quality that a Marlin has, and it shows. But an old Winchester, I haven't really handled old Winchesters, but I've seen it. So I don't know, but I just can't imagine. I imagine they have a much better feel than a Rossi. Um, Anyhow, so I did shoot my buddy's 4570 Ruger Trapper or Ruger Marlin something, and it was pretty epic. But unless I was planning on going moose hunting or carrying a carbine sized gun in the woods in Alaska for bear, I don't really see myself needing a 45-70. Because I like sleeker guns and bullets. I could see going from a 6.5 PRC to a 7 or a 300 PRC. But I kind of like the bolts for hunting. Sorry, I didn't keep up on the. Oh, there it is. But how do you feel about the Henrys? New Henrys are just shiny Marlins. Is that what it is? I know they did something different with the receiver material. The Henry Rifle Company is relatively new and is still made in the U.S., and the inner workings are identical to Marlin. Really? I did not know that. Isn't G-Force making lever actions now? Yes, and I think they're making lever action shotties, and they also have like the Huckleberry model, which it just kind of grosses me out. Is G-Force? I assume G-Force is a Turkish shotgun company. I got these paws if a bear wants some. What, like you got big hands? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Getting tired, Like, I don't know if you guys have done any lives, but my brain gets so addled doing lives. Like, I just get so tired and spaced out. Well, I mean, it does sound interesting, but I think you're going to stay on target way better with the pump. And when I was fishing in Alaska, everybody had 44 revolver strapped to their chest. That's the bear gun of choice. But or at least the people that I saw and talked to, they were, they had their Colt 44s. And I had a Glock 20 and 10 millimeter Glock with a red dot and a light. And I think I'd rather have 15 rounds and a red dot, even if 10 mil is a little on the light side for Grizz. But I don't think I would really carry a long gun for it. But like what, maybe an AR and 450 SOCOM would work. I don't know, something. I don't know. 308. I think a 308. An AR-10 would be fine for, a 16-inch 308. That'd be pretty fucking fast. To point, aim, and shoot, because if you are about to get your ass chewed by a grizzly, you ain't gonna have a lot of time to figure it out. The Henry Rifle Company was named after Benjamin Tyler Henry. That was the engineer or the designer at Winchester. Doesn't everybody know that Henry was the name of the guy who was the designer for the original lever action from Winchester? But I mean, the company has no tie to him. They just, they named it for him out of respect or marketing. I got Demida, and I forget him. You got to mention I forget him alive and do some wild. I'll forget him alive and do some wild shit. Well, don't be shy, JP. Do tell. I mean, I already talked about open road racing at 170 in the desert in a convertible, and Nevada brothels. So, like smoking cigars with Dennis Hof at the Bunny Ranch in the early 2000s. So, I mean, what kind of wild shit what kind of wild shit you want to talk about on my live? I mean, I don't think you should hold back on us. A grizzly bear versus a 2-ounce slug out of a shockwave. Yeah. Then you got to hold the shockwave. You could have it strapped to your chest, I suppose. But aim is important because those things can move really fucking fast. I mean, at that point, you shoot. It'd be great close in, but you want to if the thing's I think you want to fix it with the thing further away. Like that's my thought. You want to fix that problem before it becomes a bigger problem. And I think proximity is the bigger problem. That's my feeling about it. I respect that, Bruce. I got to be more myself on here. Well, I'll tell you, JP, you don't have to be any way at all. I mean, you don't have to. I have no requirement, but as long as I'm talking a bunch of shit, I invite you to also. But I'm not even talking. Like, I actually did the open road races in Nevada. Of course, I did. And I did smoke cigars at the Bunny Ranch, but that's all I did. So we're all willing to admit to here. But it was legal in Nevada anyway, if you cared to. So yeah, but like you share what you want. I don't, like we're just all here doing what we do or however we do it, and the way I do my channel doesn't dictate anything about how you do your channel, and you can share what you want to share. It's a lot easier to talk a bunch of shit when you're fucking just rambling on your live and you're just rolling from story to story or monologue to monologue, as opposed to there were some bunnies hopping around. That was back in the days of Air Force Amy, and they had a bunch of stars there. I don't know. I wouldn't pay that kind of money for a porn to I guess that's some people's fantasy is to go there and sleep with a porn star. But we were just talking about I was out in Carson City and had dinner at this amazing rib place that AT knew the name of, and it's really fucking good. Not a rib place, a prime rib place. They serve like 27-ounce cowboy steak prime ribs on the barbecue with barbecue sauce. And I didn't see any bunnies because it was nighttime. I didn't see like they talk about having real actual bunnies, but it's Reno. I'm sure there's bunnies around, wild bunnies. Anyhow, but it was nighttime, so the only ones I saw were two-legged bunnies. When I was 5, that was a dream. Well, when I was 35, it was a reality. But yeah, so I went out there and smoked a cigar with the owner. Then went out, checked it out. There's a bar there, and you can hang out and smoke cigars there, and the girls mingle and all that stuff. It was nice before it was state run. It's weird because I've had a bunch of different lives. My life from say 91 to 2004 in my mind is a different life than the life I've had since 2004, or 2010, and the person I'm married to and the way I live my life now and all that stuff. It's way different than how I was in my previous life or the way so it's all, as you get older, you kind of have a better sense of what I'm talking about. Maybe, I don't know, or don't. I'm just a dude talking shit on a live. Hey, I think it's time to wrap this up. I definitely feel that it's a noticeable change as well. No, then you get it. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I just ramble about shit that I probably shouldn't talk about, or can, but why not? So also I'm kind of my own boss, so I can I don't have to worry about like some HR department checking my social media. But whatever. Anyhow, that's the timeline warping, right? All righty. Hey, man, I'm tired. I'm going to wrap it up. And maybe one of the other gun bros is going right now and we'll get to go hang out in there live. But I appreciate your being here. Everybody's all about the probes, you know? But that's a story. We'll talk about the probing another time if we want. You can talk about the probing. I'm gonna skip the probing for now. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna get another cigar, and so usually I sit out here in the dark and smoke my cigar and look at my phone, and that's like my happy place, and that's where we're going right now. I'm gonna jump out of the live, and thank you all for being here. I'm gonna jump out of the live and shut the light off and get another cigar and have another smoke, and doom scroll for a couple of hours before I go to bed. So thank you very much for being here. Because I'm getting tired. I just want to jump out and relax because my brain hurts. So thank you. I'm gonna shut it down. Thanks for being here.